This is an example of how to replace the wires, the trigger wires on an offset Alien. The first thing you're going to need to do is determine which set of pins you'll be using. In each of the kits comes with the set of pins that are specifically for the model that you're working with. These pins will work with all of the Aliens and offset Aliens that are manufactured by FixeHardware. So you're looking at mid 2011 onward, and then depending on the model of Alien, they will work with most of the units that Dave made. Some of these original units, he used a really light gauge wire, and it gets to be a little challenging. The holes through the lobes sometimes are too tight. The wire can't pivot inside the hole. But that said, with a little bit of work, you should be able to repair just about any trigger wire on the Alien models. There's 3 different size pins. There's a small pin that's specifically for the black Alien, and it looks almost like a sewing pin or needle, I guess you'd call it. The medium and the large pins, little different gauge material, but they both have a little copper ball on the end of it. Typically what I see happening is one of the wires is broken. Usually it's due to the fact that the cam was placed, it was loaded, and the placement, it was incorrectly placed, and what happens is the cams rotate and over cam, and these units do not have cam stops on them. So what happens is the weak point being the wire breaks. So what we want to do here is we want to replace this missing wire on this gray-red. The red and gray and yellow cams all get the large size wire, so that's the wire that will come with the set. The first thing you need to do is determine the length of the wire, or pin for that matter. Slide it up through the bottom and make sure it's seated well in the hole in the bottom of the retracting plate there. Pull the cam into the proper orientation, and it is under tension, so you're going to have to hold it in place. And what I usually do is use my needle nose pliers. You're going to need some needle nose pliers, some side cutters, and a screwdriver is kind of handy. But I get that cam where I want it, make sure the wire is seated, and then I just grab the wire in the location that I want it bent, and I give it a slight bend, and I remove it, grab it again with the needle nose, and bend it all the way to 90. You got a nice right angle, and it's usually a little long. So what I do again is I'll slide it through the cam and give it a mark again, kind of where I want it cut. This time I don't bend it, I just kind of squeeze it, giving me a little mark. And I use the side cutters. Cut some of that excess off. It'll make it easier to get it through the cam lobe. Slide the unit back in. Use the wires on the other side as kind of a gauge as to which direction they should be going through the cams. Grab it with the needle nose so you've got a little control. Retract the cam again and just slide it through the hole. Sometimes takes a little bit of force, but it'll pop through. Squeeze it in place, kind of get the wire to sit all the way in. Kind of hold it in place with your hand, and you can give it a squeeze. See if it's functioning properly, and it is. The last step, you're going to want it nice and tight. So pull it nice and tight, kind of hold it with a finger. Then you want to bend it straight up, just like that. And basically, that's it. Check it, make sure the action's good. You know, majority of the cams I see or get in, they need some cleaning. They need a proper washing. Just warm soap and water, a nylon brush to kind of clean them out. If you've got a compressor or some way to use some forced air or something, blow them out and get them cleaned out real well. Maybe set them in the sun, let them dry, and then use a Jesus, what the hell's the word I'm trying to? A non-petroleum product. Use a silicone or spray silicone or such, and give them a quick couple little shots, and that'll help lubricate them properly, and you'll be really surprised. I mean, you can get really good action out of them again if you keep these things clean and wash them once in a while. And that's it.